before you clean any junk, you should clean the junk which you are. The real junk is you yourself. So what do you want to clean? Instead of giving total attention to that, you want to clean junk which is around you. You are the real junk which you have collected in series of life.
Yes, correct, Swami.
I sacrifice everything almost to guide you. And you cannot just tolerate little bit of junk. Whatever I loved, I suspended everything for these years. The thing is that we value things too much. The real thing is the life which you offer to someone. You have only limited years here, so you have to choose what you want to do. And for me, I am not that unconscious. I choose it very consciously. But now you have to prove your mettle. And it is not that I have any interest to gain anything. Otherwise, I could have become a guru, famous guru, just by following the ways of the world. For me, my freedom, what comes from within me, is more important than anything else on the outside world. I cannot trade my freedom for, I cannot compromise just to get fame and popularity and success.
Yes, Swami.
Now you read from that Oppenheimer, whatever you have sent.
The movie Oppenheimer was meaningful because I learned something important from the movie. Number one, in the end of the movie, Einstein told Oppenheimer that there is a price to pay for his achievements. After Oppenheimer's discovery about atom bomb, all he got was useless awards.
Read the first sentence.
The movie Oppenheimer was meaningful because I learned something important from the movie.
There is nothing to comment, so read the second.
Number one, in the end of the movie, Einstein told Oppenheimer that there is a price to pay for his achievements.
This is exactly the word which Einstein used, achievement.
I remember his word was achievement, yes.
If something is your personal achievement, then it will prove to be harmful and inauspicious for the whole. So if he is using the word achievement, then even because Einstein had not much understanding of the inner world, maybe no understanding, especially in the earlier years of his life. Later on, little bit maybe, because he started reading Eastern scriptures, especially Upanishad and other Indian scriptures. So, any achievement, if the ego is involved, it is coming out of the divisive consciousness, and that will be a fodder for the destruction. Now read.
After Oppenheimer's discovery about atom bomb, all he got was useless awards.
Now you are being a parrot. Useless award. Even if your mother is not looking at you with love, then you start becoming mad. If your brother is looking in a strange way to you, then you think he is planning to kill you. He is going to poison you. And all whatever you are running for, it is all for awards and rewards. Your unconsciousness has not at all changed. It is all on the surface. Until and unless you find something which is more valuable than those rewards, it's all just worthless. You have borrowed from me, Osho, and other people. The whole world is mad for these awards and rewards. And he was at that time number one hero in a way for America. Not in a way, he was number one hero at that time, maybe for a short period. Because those people who reward you and award you, they also do it for their own vested interests. So once they have used you, they will throw you. Just the way if a fly drops in your tea, you will throw it out. In the same way, once they have used you, then they will send you to recycle bin. Okay, read.
Number 2. I learned that it is better to be a normal or even a useless person, like how Lao Tzu said it.
Okay. First of all, no one is normal. Just to say that it is better to be normal. Who is normal? Everyone is abnormal. Everyone is sick. Everyone is schizophrenic. Everyone is mad for ambition. So just to say to be normal is the most abnormal thing, the most difficult thing. That you have to be very cool. You have understood the whole game. There is no point running. It requires great wisdom. You are not running. This is the middle path of the Buddha, to be a normal person. You are not going to any extreme. So here also there is a condemnation. Then you say, using Lao Tzu's shoulder to put your gun, you are saying, as he is talking about the useless person, he is just be sarcasm involved in that. He must be making a joke of you, of the whole world. What he is meaning is that the useless person in the eyes of the world. Not that Lao Tzu is useless. Lao Tzu is the most valuable, or you can say invaluable asset. Only he can teach you the art of living. Only he knows how to exist gracefully. So he is not useless, but your mind is full of all those junks, full of bullshit of the world. The world has thrown inside you. So that is polluting everything. You may be reading Lao Tzu or you may be reading Osho, but your own mind is interpreting it. He is saying, he was just trying to tell to his disciples that you see all those trees have been cut by, they will be made into furniture. And you go and ask those people who are cutting the trees why they have left one of the trees which was very big. Then his disciple went and they inquired, why you have left this one? They said this is totally useless. It is so crooked, so bent, and It cannot be made into any furniture. So Lao Tzu said, now you have understood the usefulness of being useless. Who are those people who try to be very useful in this world? They are full of ego. They are suffering from the disease to be the star attraction. They are like those students who are just putting their hand in the class. I know when the teacher asks the question, I know. This disease which begins when you are studying in maybe KG or class 1 or 2 remains with you for the whole life. You try to prove always that you are very useful. Then you fall in the trap. All the vested interest will exploit you. But why you are exploited? Because your ego is nourished by it. It's not that it is one-way game. It is a mutual game. You want your ego to be fulfilled. So then you allow yourself to become a slave. Then you allow yourself to be reduced into a prostitute. This is how the whole world is sacrificing their life for useless thing. Dying for their country. Dying for their religion, to save their religion. Islam is in danger. Christianity is in danger. If it is always in danger, it is worthless thing. Why you want to save it? Just throw it in the dustbin. And if you can save it, then what value it has? If it has any truth, then it will remain. You need not save it. Okay. Read.
If you are useful and working for these unconscious people, they will be using you to the maximum.
Now this is also a borrowed thing. Otherwise, why you are being used? You are still being used. You will be used again and again. Because as long as you have any hope, expectation from them that they should appreciate you, they should praise you, then you will be dancing to their tune. Like this and this. Then why you are blaming them? So what is the two words you have used? Useless people. What you said? What is the word?
Useless person.
Read the whole thing
Okay.
again.
I learned that it is better to be a normal or even a useless person, like how Lao Tzu said it.
Don't be so quick to declare that you have learned. Now this normal and useless person, you have repeated it again or what? You have used these words twice or what?
No. This one is the first sentence of number 2.
Then I have already commented, so read further.
Okay. If you are useful and working for these unconscious people, they will be using...
Okay.
They are unconscious and what you are. If they can use you, then you are more unconscious than them. You can't see their game, then you are more unconscious. Instead of blaming them, first try to become more conscious. You try to become so conscious that no one can use you. Just throwing blames on others. It's a very female trick. Only others are to be blamed. You are spotless, you are Virgin Mary. Others are all corrupt. They have exploited you. So what was again you read it? That only that part.
If you are useful and working for these unconscious people.
You can be useful in the eyes of those people who are awakened. then that usefulness is good, and you can be useful in the for those people who are unconscious. Then you will prove to be harmful. So to be useful is not always a bad word. For whom you are useful? If you are useful for evil people, demonic people, diabolical people, then you are just stupid. You are yourself very unconscious. Now read afterwards.
They will be using you to the maximum.
So if you are offering yourself to be used, then why they will not use to the maximum? These people are just interested in material gains, so they will just take out the last drop of your juice, because they believe that this is a world of consumers. You are a commodity. You have to be used to the maximum. Okay.
To achieve their meaningless or even cruel ambitions.
If you have really understood that it is their ambition is meaningless and cruel, then why you are being used? That means it is just intellectual understanding, which is no understanding. Otherwise, how you are offering yourself to be used by anyone, whether it is the powers of the world, whether it is your college authorities, whether it is your parents, why you are offering yourself? If you have understood that it is cruel and it is meaningless, for them it is very meaningful. That's why they are themselves involved in it, and they want to sacrifice everyone for that, because for them life is only that much. The more power they have, the more meaning they think their life will have. Now when I see that what he was claiming, Mark Zuckerberg, that he created this Facebook just to socialize with his friend in Harvard, I feel he's just lying, because there must be somewhere in his mind to use it to become very powerful, to use it to make America powerful. Because this social media, this is everywhere. What it is doing is, if you have to create riot in a city, through social media you can do it very quickly. All these criminals can assemble at one place very fast. Without social media it was not possible. That's why whenever these things happens, whenever there is riot or something, these internet is stopped at those places. Otherwise they can use it for further burning the place more and more. So the way he has used Facebook shows that it was not just created only for socializing with his friends of Harvard. He had other things in mind. He is just telling lie. Because if the seeds are not there inside you of all those things, his face looks very innocent, but he is not an innocent man. He married to a Chinese. Why? Because he knows that it's all the business of America is with China. That is what now it is in the said by many journalists. When Henry Kissinger, he went to America, he went to China. He is about 100 years of age. He needs a stick and one or two people to hold him just to stand and walk. And he traveled on his plane, which was a veritable hospital. 12 hours to 14 hours. He went there for what? Not to discuss the war between Russia and Ukraine. Not to discuss COVID and European problems. They are claiming that he went there just to discuss with Xi Jinping, because he was himself a great warmonger. He got the Nobel Prize, Henry Kissinger, but he was a warmonger. And so he went there to discuss with Xi Jinping that let us have a small war, just to show to the world that we are not friendly. But most of the American businesses are in China. Both the countries are so much together in their criminal activities, and their vested interest is of such a high stake that they are not enemies. It's not that they are friends, but they need both of them need each other. It's like the meeting of the blind man and the lame man. So without both being together, they cannot exploit the world more. So he went there just to say that let us have a small war in what is the name of the country which is very powerful as for making what it is called, superconductor, what it's called, Taiwan. So for them, they are just using any country for their own devilish ends. They don't care whether millions of people are dying anywhere. Their mind is such. I feel now that it is all these Abrahamic religion are such, because it is not based on meditation. It is not making you unconscious. You are praying to a God which exists not. And when you are praying to a God, why you need to pray to the God? Only when you are a sinner you need to pray. It's like you are buttressing the ego of the God that I am praying to you, so just don't punish me. Even if I have committed sin, send me to heaven. So prayer is just a trick. Maybe they also know inside every one of them that there is no God. But they need to be powerful here, so they have to show to the unconscious masses, stupid masses, that our religion is so great. Christianity is such a holy thing. Holy Bible, Holy Quran. It's all unholy. It should be called unholy. Because what you are doing in the name of these scriptures is just destroying the world. So it is their religion which is sanctioning them to do all these kind of evil things. Because then you can pray to the God. God is very merciful. He will forgive you. You just have to pray to Him and He will forgive you. He is so merciful. Even in Islam they said He is Rahim, Rahman. Christians say He is merciful, compassionate. Now you have invented your God. It is not that the God has created you. You have created your own God in your own image. It's all lie, big lie. If it was a truth, then it would have proved to be very auspicious for the world. But both the two world wars have happened in Christian context. The man who invented dynamite, the man in whose weapon both the world wars were fought, in his name the Nobel Prize for Peace is given. You can find any bigger joke than this. But we are all blind. And people to whom Nobel Prizes for peace is given, they are not really any conscious people. They themselves, if you find their history, they are all just mediocre kind of people. Maybe they have achieved something, because if you are just after Nobel Prize, you will have to do things which normal people cannot do. You will have to stand on your head. Now read.
Number 3. Science without meditation is a disaster, as proven from Oppenheimer's discovery about the atom bomb.
If you have understood that everything is disaster without meditation, even science, then why you are not being so sincere? It's just by using big words. So it is all intellectual. You need to be more pure. You need to be more, your mirror need to be more clean. Only then you will see things as it is. Science has got the legs, it can walk, but it has not got the eyes. The science is about the object. So they can know if they are focused, concentrated. It is called tunnel vision. If they are focused on objects all the time, then they will discover many of the secrets. But how that will help them to be lighted inside? They are not giving any attention to themselves. They are not giving any attention to their mind. Why they are greedy? Why they are lustful? Why anger happens? Why jealousy happens? Why they become possessive? Why they are running for power? These things you can know only when you turn in. The more you are running for outside thing, the more hell you are creating for yourself. When you are not running for anything, when you have no desire for all these worthless things, you become a still, silent lake which reflects things as it is. And when you are at home with yourself, that is the most blessed state. But for that you need to be very alert. Otherwise your sense organ will always take you out. Once you have understood the whole game of the mind, once you have mastered your sense organs, then you will not run out. Otherwise, just by using big words, transformation won't happen. Okay, read more.
So what if he successfully discovered the atom bomb?
What he discovered, if they were conscious people, if they were divine instead of being devil, that same energy, atomic energy, nuclear energy, could have been used to create a heaven in this world. So energy is not your enemy. How you are using the energy, that decides. So what he discovered was nothing wrong in that, but he gave it to unconscious people. He was himself unconscious. Read more.
That discovery brought massive destructions to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and also changed how war became for the times after that.
When you are functioning through the divisive consciousness, You are not concerned what happens to your enemy. You have yourself divided. You are the good people, they are the bad people. So if they die, nothing happens. This is what is blind patriotism is. Your country is great, others are evil. So you are destroying just evil forces. You have just assumed, you have just imagined you are good and others are evil. So he was never working on himself. He never tried to understand himself. What Socrates said, know thyself first. The old West has never given any attention to these things. Know thyself first. Physician, heal thyself first. If they had given attention to these things. In West also there have been some people who have come to know themselves. That could have helped them to turn in. Before you do anything else, first thing is that you have to understand your own mind. From there all your action begins. So if your own mind is impure, polluted, then whatever you will be doing will be bringing harm to the world, will be inauspicious. That's why these people are, I call them devil, they are Rakshas. Because they are just running out, they are outgoing energies in the words of Osho. All the time running out. They don't know that there is anything within them. That is what Marx said, and it is communism is also a byproduct of Christianity and Abrahamic religions. That is what he said, that consciousness is just a byproduct of matter. A higher thing cannot be a byproduct of something lower. That I always say that Descartes, the great mathematician, cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. You are, first you need to exist, only then you can think. And your existence means consciousness. Who knows that you exist? It is because of the presence of consciousness. Being and knowing are two sides of the same thing. If you are, you will know. If you are not, you can't know. So it is because of the consciousness you become aware of everything. Because of the presence of the consciousness. Read.
Number 4. Oppenheimer felt regret after the bomb was used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That is how unconscious people are. They always regret later on. They feel guilty. Then they have to pray. Then they need prayer. Then they will pray to the God, forgive us, Father, forgive us, because I knew not what I was doing. They are all like the same. Those two criminals who were with Jesus. No, those people who crucified Jesus. For them, Jesus prayed that Father forgive them because they know not what they are doing. So he will also say later on, pray. Then he, just to feel good, he started reading Bhagavad Gita and he could find something in it to support his evil things. But what Krishna was saying was totally different. He could not understand the thing. It is said that when he saw this explosion, nuclear explosion, then he remembered that slok from Bhagavad Gita. That was in a way all right. When Krishna was showing his universal form, that I am everything, I am life, I am death, I am destruction, But he is talking about this energy which is behind everything. That doesn't mean that you create a nuclear bomb and then destroy the whole world. There are incidents in Mahabharata also, where a man used, his name was Aswathama. He used some weapon which was very close to nuclear weapon. The way they have described it, that he used it and then the whole world was about to be destroyed. Then the other people, sages and other people, they said that you just bring it back to yourself, otherwise the whole world will be destroyed. He said, I know I have to use it, but I don't know how to return it back. Then Krishna and all those sages, he said that when you don't know how to return it back, you should not have used it. So both the two people had used it. Arjun has also used, because first this Aswathama used it on Arjun, then Arjun also used it. But when it was told to them that you have to return it back, otherwise it will destroy the whole world, then Arjuna, he knew how to return it back, so he returned it back. That weapon was called Brahmastra, and Aswathama didn't know. So Krishna had to somehow manage, otherwise it would have brought a very big destruction to the world. The way it has been described there was far more powerful than what they used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And there is a possibility, maybe they knew, because we think we are only the first time we have discovered something. And no one knows when Mahabharata happened, because these Christians, all these so-called archaeologists and scientists, they are all Christian. So their mind is very Christian, so they cannot accept anything, because 4,000 years before Jesus Christ, according to Bible, this whole world came into existence. Now this is just a big joke. This is a big lie. So you have to reduce everything in the same time. So they cannot accept that anything may have happened far before it. But there are people like Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He said that they have in Rig Veda, they have mentioned a constellation of stars which he calculated that it happened 90,000 years back. So that means Rig Veda is 90,000 years back at least. It may be, it may not be. But he started feeling guilty. So he had to read all these scriptures. So what you felt about the way they showed it in the picture, that they were jumping on each other and then he said to read. They were making love and then he said to read it. So what you felt?
They censored it in the cinema, Malaysia cinema. It was censored the part they make love.
It was not censored when I saw it here.
Ours was censored. Malaysia censored.
Your country is a Muslim country, so they for them it is all blasphemy. They don't want it to be. They don't want Islam to be shown in that light, so they cannot. I don't know why they censored it. For them, Gita is not their scripture. But there were many fanatic Hindus. They were also creating a lot of noise. They were even abusing Modi and his information and broadcasting minister, that they should have seen it. How this is there. This is just there all the time, showing these kind of things. But I felt this was a very good scene. What was wrong? When you are making love, you are in a very vulnerable state. You are very soft at that time. And It is all just those people who are themselves very impure. They think that you can make Gita impure. If you are reading it whenever you are reading such things, it will help you. And when you are making love, you are more peaceful, you are more silent. If you have experienced orgasm, then you will be even more conscious and more relaxed and more receptive. And when you are condemning this sex act, then you are condemning how you are created. You are condemning God. If sex is condemned, that means you are condemning the whole life, because everything is born out of sex. You have to make it more conscious. You have to make it more prayerful. When you are going into sex, make it into an art, but instead of trying to change yourself, you are condemning it. Even poison in the hands of an aware person can be turned into elixir. And even nectar in the hand of wrong people can become very harmful. So all these people who became very much, they are fanatic like Muslims. They became very much against it because they are all sexually repressed people. They feel that if they are making love, their love will be making rape, not love. But I didn't feel there was anything ugly in that scene. U.G. Krishnamurti has said that only in sex, only original act that human being indulges is sex. Otherwise, whatever you are doing is all duplicate. It is all borrowed. That is the only act where you are natural, where you are not wearing masks. And why we have all become so fake, we are wearing so many masks, we have become so schizophrenic. Because sex is not accepted. That's why we have become divided. When you have to make love to someone, you have to do it secretly in the night when everyone is sleeping. Then you have to hide many things. From there you are hiding all the dirty things. You have learned to hide all your dirty things inside your carpet. That is how everyone has become schizophrenic. The conflict has happened. If pleasure is accepted, if sex is accepted, then people will not become so perverted. It is because the natural thing is not accepted. Then we have become all hypocrites. We have become all fake. Otherwise, if parents were teaching you how to make love, then no one can exploit you. There will be no bad touch or whatever. There will be no such exploitation. If sex is accepted, then you can go beyond sex very easily. Otherwise, even the man who is dying is still stuck to sex. That is the meaning of the word dirty old man. But it is also because of the Christianity. Hindus were not so cowardly. They have shown sex act in their temples. Outside the temple there are sexual posture. Inside the temple it is empty. Because first you have to meditate on those things. And in Tantra, only those people were allowed to make love who had become very meditative. So those people who are very sexually repressed, who are very sick, they are very much against sex. You are also very much against sex?
Not against, but to be honest, I'm afraid to openly say, like, how do I deal with my own sex energy. I'm not against
How
it.
do you do?
Like,
How
whenever
you
there's
do?
a feeling of, like, sexual feeling, I need to do something for the orgasm to happen, and then that releases the energy.
So what is wrong in that? Why you have to be so guilty about it? Why you are becoming an Oppenheimer? So what? How you know that that scene was not shown?
Because the guy beside me, he said this, there were people sitting beside me in the cinema. Then there was this guy, I don't know how old is he, I didn't, because it was all dark. So he told his friend, he said that later there will be a sex scene, and I will be closing my eyes, something like that. Then something like, when it's over, you let me know, something like that. He said something like that.
So you Chinese are so sick.
Yeah, he's totally hypocrite, I feel.
What he would have done? He would have raped someone there if he had seen that scene.
I don't know. I just that because when I sat down for
Who
the
has
movie,
not seen
because
the
this
sex
movie is
scene in movies? In every movie they show it. So how? There was nothing much in that. There was nothing much. It was not much of a sex scene. I think there was not nothing. I don't even remember whether there was any scene or not. I only remember that afterwards he said that girl to read or see him herself started.
Sanskrit, he asked him to read something in Sanskrit. Yeah, that part was there. Just that the part where they make love was
But what?
The woman herself took the book in her hand first. Then he said.
yes.
But there was nothing much of love making. In every English movie they show more than that. So what was so much? But people are just mad. They have to create noise about everything. There were some people who were creating so much noise here also that should not have been shown what the censor board was doing. It's all bullshit. I think this is Indian mind has also become very sick and hypocritical. So it's not that everyone in India is like that, but so what they showed in the movie, how you know that they cut something?
because suddenly they cut off the sex scene, and suddenly the woman, she was holding.
There was no sex scene, I think.
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that means there's no I don't know. Because the guy beside me, he was telling his friend. He said that there will be a sex scene, and I will be closing my eyes, and later you.
And
That means that this person was just boiling inside. He's already planning what he will be doing. There will be sex scene. How he knew about all those things? He was inquiring a lot about it. He was just trying to show how immoral he was. And all the immoralities are done by these so-called moral people. They show some other face and they have something else hiding within. So what they showed in the movie there, I don't remember much what they showed, but what they showed.
Suddenly, the woman, then she was holding a blanket. She was looking at the books, and then suddenly she took one book. She asked him whether he Before that, there was
What they were doing before it?
talking. I think something like that, talking. Because I fell asleep during some part, I already forgotten certain part.
You were also like him.
No. I was tired, and I was tired.
You said to yourself, you will close your eyes while they will be showing, and then you went to sleep.
No. I totally went asleep in some parts, and I woke up, and I was like, oh, okay, I fell asleep.
Why you fell asleep? It was so boring for you.
It was a little bit boring because the conversation I didn't understand fully. That was one thing. Another thing is I think the oxygen is very low in the cinema. The oxygen was very low. So
Why?
Because it's
Why?
cinema, I think maybe the
What
air
cinema?
condition maybe not so good lah. I think the air circulation was not good.
Where I saw it was alright, but my place is, I think, far more dirty than yours, so it was nothing. It was alright. I was lying down. I was not even, and I only time I felt a little bit asleep when I changed the For a while I changed my seat because the whole hall was very much, there were many empty places, so for a while I sat on sofa. But when I sat on sofa, then I felt asleep for a while. Then again I went to lie down on that. So how was it, full or not? The hall was how much?
No, it was half full, not 100% full, maybe 40 to 50%.
I thought that maybe you were seeing alone.
No. The one before that, the one I cancelled before, that one was quite empty. But this one, when I booked it online, it was quite empty. But when I watched it, it was quite full actually. And you know,
first you finish.
you know, those people are, it's like very weird after watching the movie, because I was mostly the other people, they went with some friend. I was the only person who went alone. So those people,
So
after the movie, they were like, you know, they will be like commenting like they are such expert, you know, the commenting about the World War and all that, you know, suddenly become all expert professional.
So there is something more to read.
Yes, okay. So I continue from number 4. He did not think like this before the bombing.
Thing is that whatever they may say, they are all schizophrenic. They are themselves divided. They have two parts. One part is doing what he was doing. And then once you have seen the consequence, then the other part is dominating him. So what he was in actuality is what he did first. They are all afraid. Fear is so much there. That's why we create all these weapons. Before others destroy us, we will destroy them. They were in such a hurry. Why they were in such a hurry to make it? Because they thought Germany will make it before them, or maybe Japan will make, or some other country. I don't know whether Japan was making at that time or not. I think Japan was not making. But they were afraid of Germany. So before anyone throws on you, you will throw. And why they threw on Japan? Because they wanted to, that was their statement, that if you try to harm America in any way, we can go to any extent. We can destroy your whole country. That was just a small demonstration. They could have destroyed the whole Japan also. But even if they didn't do, they had to show to the world that they are very democratic. They are very nice people. They did it because it was needed. Otherwise, they are all for human right. This is just a facade. It's not their real face. Their real face is of a demon, of a monster. But no monster will accept that he is a monster or he is a demon. So they have to say that, they have to declare to the world that they are good people. They are not good people. Read.
But I am puzzled why he did not think of how the bomb will be used before he successfully found the correct formula for the atom bomb.
He can rationalize everything, that he is doing his work, he is doing his duty. Now it is for them, for politicians to decide. And he must have been after that he should get a very big name, he should become very famous. And he knew how to make it. So first thing is that he has to create it so that he is world recognized, he is regarded as the greatest man in America. Then later on he will think what will be the consequence. Otherwise, if he was a conscious person, he would have not been part of that. To repent later on is just worthless, is meaningless. Once you have destroyed 2 cities, still people are affected by it. I feel that this is the greatest criminal act ever done by human being in recorded history. The greatest criminal act. Dropping of atom bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There is no act which can be compared to that. You cannot even compare Hitler. They were all the time Hitler is blamed. Hitler is told by them that he was the most evil. But no one says that what America did was far more evilish. He may have conquered many countries. He may have killed many people, thousands and thousands of people. What his criminal act was his gas chambers, the real criminal act. They may have raped many, but that raping women, every army does all these because they are all unconscious. Wherever they will win, they will do it. That is their first thing. So those people who are fighting wars, not for destroying evil, they are themselves evil. Once you have won a war, what is the need to rape women? You have already won. If you were not criminals, why you will rape women? That shows that these are all criminal people, and their politicians also must be encouraging them to do it. Otherwise, if the order is given by their general or the president that you cannot do all those things, then they cannot do it. But that is allowed for them. That is their prize. Now you loot like criminals. You rob those people like robbers. And you rape their women like rapists. It is all accepted now. So, later on, repenting is all just to prove to himself, to rationalize to himself, to others that you are not a bad person. Or maybe he was very unconscious. You can say he didn't know very much. He could not see at that time that it will bring so much destruction, or he was so much intoxicated in his own desire to become powerful and to create that weapon. That was his desire, was also for power. It's not that he was not seeking power. He must have been thinking that once I will create that weapon, maybe he will become the president of America. Even if he doesn't become, he will be regarded as the greatest hero. Okay. Is there anything more?
A little bit more. Was it because his mind was so focused, so narrow in only wanting to find the answers that he could not see the big picture?
How? They cannot see the big pictures. Scientists need tunnel vision. They are focused. They are people, they are focused. They are using the same consciousness. But their consciousness is like the torchlight. It is focused on one place. It's not like the tube light which spreads everywhere. So they cannot see the whole picture. Otherwise they cannot create it. Maybe that's why in India, these people, I don't know whether they knew about nuclear weapon or not at the time of Mahabharata. But those all these sages and rishis, they were not very much interested in developing science. They were the first. They gave all the fundamentals of science. They discovered zero, they discovered decimal, and they discovered that it is the earth that moves around the sun. They discovered law of gravitation, and they discovered thousands of things. How they could not have discovered science? But they choose peace instead of power. They must have realized that to give all these weapons power to unconscious people can prove very dangerous. And if Mahabharat war happened to in such a way as it is shown in as it is written in Mahabharata, then maybe they learned a lesson. It is better to keep man less powerful because they don't know how to use it. Power in the hand of a monkey will be very destructive. First you have to become, your consciousness has to be higher than the powers which you have. It has to be higher than the science and the power which science gives to you. So that's why it is needed that all the scientists should be meditator also. All those people who have big power, it should be very compulsory for them. All the politicians. If you want to make a real good world, then all those people who have big power, they should be meditative. Otherwise, power in the hands of unconscious people will be very dangerous. Is there anything more or?
Nothing more, Swami. The end.
Okay.